Deluxe Bar and Lounge is the setting for today's EDFL TV. Matthew Pillios, former Moonee Valley superstar, your club in a grand final, Matthew.
Very happy. EDFL TV, welcome Michael. What a fantastic week it was in EDFL football.
Deluxe Bar, wonderful venue for EDFL players, supporters and officials. Serve the EDFL really well, and it's good to be here today, isn't it, Matthew?
Great to be here. Notice the photo wall here and your young face on a few photos of some of the EDFL players, so it's great to be at Deluxe Bar as well. And a very good sponsor of the Essendon District Footy League.
Yeah, wonderful sponsor. Big thank you to Blair, former Do to Stars player.
Yep.
Of course, Jono out the back as well, leading us in here today to film it. So much
Great
appreciated.
coach.
As you mentioned, big round of football across all three divisions. It was finals in Division 1 and Division
Massive.
2 and last round in Premier Division. Let's just go through all of the results. We'll get that out of the way and then we'll preview all the upcoming round.
Sounds
Let's
good.
start off with Division 2, and it was a preliminary final. Hillside and Moonee Valley. Hillside were favourites considering their form lately, but Moonee Valley got up over them by 25 points and they have booked a grand final berth, your old club.
Yeah, look, very happy for the Moonee Valley Magpies. Charlie Denaro and the boys, well done. Two key aspects for this game, Michael, was Moonee Valley the week before playing on a dry pitch at Highgate against where Hillside played against a tough East Kill in the big thick mud at Coburg. And Moonee Valley, with a younger, fitter side, really spreading well, where Hillside don't have a lot of tall players, but they have a lot of thick, solid players. So where they were going to win was a spread, and in a big ground like Tullamarine, and their superior fitness, looks like they really ran all over Hillside Sharks, who again would have been tied against East Keilor.
Yeah, straight sets for Hillside, which means we do have a grand final, East Keilor versus Moonee Valley. We will preview that later, but let's now go to the Division 1 action yesterday.
Yep.
What a game at Highgate Reserve. I was there. Airport West versus West Coburg. Airport West favourites, considering they'd won both encounters this year. It's a topsy-turvy sort of day.
Yep.
Airport West had the momentum. West Coburg went in at half-time in the lead. Then Airport West got the lead back at three-quarter time.
Yep.
And then West Coburg exploded in the last quarter.
Just ran all over them,
in the
I
end,
heard.
winning by 13 points. And Jesse Morano, the hero for West Coburg,
Tell us about him, Michael. Tell us about him.
18's player, kicked 4 goals in a row in the second quarter and finished with 6 for the match. And although Granger kicked 5, it was Morano who was the likely suspect up forward, and he was the X factor, so to speak.
Impressive by Squizzy Taylor to have a trick like that up his sleeve, bringing an under 18 player. Is he a tall or small?
He's a small.
Small, and probably Contessa, not having a pre-match up for that really looked like it baffled him, and probably was a difference if you kick 6 goals in a second semi. From more reports, there was a win favouring one end that Airport West kicked 2 at the start.
Yep, Airport West kicked 2 at the start, and West Coburg came home with it. Jesse McVeigh was the other small forward on the ground that was dominant. Kicked 2 goals in the opening quarter and 4 for the game. Real barometer for Airport West, and he was up and about. Kenny kicked 4, although Dane Lucas, undersized, the number 20 for West Coburg, did a great job for West Coburg. Don't restrict Kenny to 4, and his presence, as well as Granger in the forward line, was limited. Also, Fulton going to Granger. So, although they kicked 9 goals between them, it wasn't the power sort of game that you come to expect from those 2 players.
And Fidax's leg speed, I heard, was very impressive throughout 4 quarters.
Yeah, and he went missing in the third quarter where Airport West got the momentum back, but in the last quarter kicked a crucial goal, and his run and carry was exceptional as well. You were at Coburg, Glenroy versus Taylor's Lakes, and in the end 20-point victors to Taylor's Lakes, and they moved through to a preliminary final now against Airport West.
Yeah, look, the scoreboard at the end probably flattened Glenroy a little bit. I think Taylor's Lakes early in the last quarter got to about 52 points, and look, it was a very good game of football, very physical early. Look, Taylor's Lakes are a very tough side, and Glenroy's big physicality, it was just tough as nails. But I just think the experience of Taylor's Lakes, they were a little bit more poised when they went inside 50. Glenroy went inside 50 more, but their kicking, they just couldn't kick the goals, where the skillful players of Taylor's Lakes were the difference. And in the middle, normal casualties, Mark D'Souza, Matt Morelli and Daniel McFerrin, just the experience was the difference there. Lance Mitnell was well held as well by Crow in the back line, which was a very good effort. And look, Taylor's Lakes are just a very well-drilled side. Can tell me very good in the big round also.
The surface at Coburg copped a bit of flack last week. How was it?
Yeah, look, it was very impressive. I think not having the women's the day before, which I think got moved to another venue. The dry win there at Coburg as well, it was very good. I must admit I was very surprised as well. It was a little bit soft, but very good for Premier football this week.
Right, speaking of Premier Football, let's go to Premier Division.
Just well done in the Glenroy Footy Club on a very good year, very much improved 2012 season.
Enough of the interruptions, please, Matthew. Premier Division,
I'm
round
the boss here,
18.
MP Junior. Good to see how he's standing up for himself. Let's go.
Essendon Duda Stars defeated Keilor by 9 points, which means Duda Stars go ahead of Keilor on the ladder. Avondale Heights versus Craigieburn. Chris Johnson's last game as coach. We believe he will stay on as a player. They got up by 19 points, which means Craigieburn had a winless season. Greenvale at home, they had their premiership reunion. Went down to Strathmore, though, by 38 points. We'll get to that game in a minute. Maribyrnong Park cemented their place in the 4 with a 78-point win over Oak Park. That was expected, and they did it pretty comfortably in the end. And Dennis Bice announced his retirement, and Pascoe Vale got a 9-point win for him against Aberfeldy. Before we go to an interview I did with Dennis Bice today, let's just take us through your thoughts from all the action in round 18 of Premier Division.
Yeah, unbelievable round it was. The anticipation for this round was the biggest I've ever seen in probably Premier Division history, or A-grade history. The first game, Essendon Duda Stars, what a fantastic season. Finished off the season great. If Maribyrnong Park lost to Oak Park and Paco lost to Aberfeldy, they were going to play finals. So, great game. They've had a sensational year. Garth was stopped at 2 goals. As we said last week, if they could keep him down to 3 or 4 under, they could probably win the game at home. A very fit side and played great footy. Lynch, Morris, Gribben, Carterfelt, Langtree, they've had fantastic seasons, all in the best again, and well done Essendon Stars. Keilor bad luck, a very solid year and a very good game of football. Craigieburn, though, nearly got their first win, which is probably the most impressive thing.
Yeah, and with Greenvale Strathmore, in the end of the game, apparently by all accounts, there's maybe only 16 players from both sides on the field. Rock and Digby Morrell resting a few of their key stars, but a few injury concerns out of that game. Yeah,
look, the sad news is that and we all wish him the best, is Nick Mazzio from the Strathmore Footy Club. He's been an absolute stalwart for Strathmore. It looks as though he's definitely done for the season and his career, possibly. Nick's 35 years old. He's played at Strathmore since junior football. He's been a great homegrown player, a fantastic half-back flanker over the years, premiership player, team of the year, all-round great bloke, and we wish him the best in his recovery. And I just think Strathmore now will have an extra incentive, if they don't need any more, but to win a grand final for Nick Mazzio, who's just been a champion of the EDFL.
And for Greenvale, had injury concern the week before with Chris Jorgensen, but now Trav Jorgensen, and now Chris Johnson has injured himself again.
Yeah, look, Anthony Rock, he can't get a trick at the moment. He's lost Farrelly this year, Provenzano and Jorgensen, and all of a sudden Chris Johnson, who's been in and out of the season all year, that looks like he's done a hamstring again. A massive loss, and look, the good thing with the Greendale Footy Club, they have Ricky Fandrick and Sardo and Reece Johnson, guys like that playing the twos that they can, bazookas, who they can promote. So Dean Smith also injury concern, but Strathmore just too good. I just heard Nathan Lyons was phenomenal on a wing and really settling in since Sandford football. Jay Wilton, the big recruit as well, and look, a great win of the Strathmore Footy Club.
Yep, Marby Park, as we said, cemented 4th spot. Took them a while, but finally they did it. They will play finals football against Aberfeldy.
Yeah, Brodie Holland, first game seniors this year as well, after playing 3 or 4 in the twos. Heath Ayres as well, second game back. They're looking dangerous. They get 3 or 4 back in this week, and a very convincing win by Marby.
Yep, as we said, Pascoe Vale were 9-point victors. It was Dennis Bice's last game, absolute champion of EDFL football. Played at North Coburg, then also Pascoe Vale, went to Greenvale, and now back to Pascoe Vale. Premiership winner in A grade and B grade, and I caught up with him today. Here's the interview. Just after the season's concluded, what are the initial emotions with finishing up with your career?
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to absorb it, but there was a lot of emotion in the room after the game, but there's somewhat of relief as well, and being able to hang them up, and there's so many other things in my life now that I can focus on. But it's been a long journey. I mean, I think I got registered at the league in 88 or 89, so to be a part of this league for such a long time has been enjoyable. And now just to move on to the next phase. Yeah, it's been exceptionally hard, but things behind the scenes, I've got a great support structure around me. Stephen Paxman, who hopefully will take on the role next year, has been terrific. But everyone chips in, and I think that we were able to do it effectively this year. But yeah, it was just time for me to look at putting effort into other areas of my life.
You talk to?
My strongest recommendation would be for Paco to take over. He's been an integral part of the coaching structure this year, and hopefully he will, and get some good assistance around him to drive Pascoe Vale forward next year. The building blocks are in place, and hopefully he takes them on. I think externally the expectations weren't very high. They thought that if they went based on trend, that we were potentially going to go back down. But internally there was a strong belief, but there was also some uncertainty a little bit around some players that hadn't played at the level before and how they'd come on. And after a small period of adapting, we saw some good junior Pascoe Vale players come on as bona fide A-grade players or Premier League players. So, yes, we're in a race for finals, but I think the bigger picture is that we're in a really strong position to build on it for 2000. I think, one of my first games in the VFL was great, but a lot of my greatest memories are things that we've done really well as a team. You can't go past some of the premierships, particularly at Greenvale, that I was involved in. With a really good bunch of people. They stand out, definitely.
There we go. Dennis Bicer, a wonderful servant of EDFL football. Matthew?
Look, great interview, Michael, with you and Dennis Bicer. Just like to say, look, he's been one of my best friends for a long time. Just a perfect ambassador for the Industry Footy League. A great leader, a great person, a fantastic player, and a sad moment for the EDFL. And he's just an exceptional person and player, and he's just been one of the toughest and the best in the business for 13 years of senior football.
Yep, and a big well done to Pascoe Vale. First year up in A grade and to finish 5th position.
Yeah.
Probably some people would say the 4th best team in Premier Division, but to finish 5th on the ladder is a wonderful effort. All right, let's go.
Just before that, the Abbas Paco game was a great game of footy as well, and a massive win by Pascoe Vale, and probably a bad loss to Abbas before finals to go down.
Hayden Skipworth, 5 in the first quarter before he went off injured. Absolutely wonderful effort by Skippy, Bendigo gold coach.
Bendigo played as well, so Jacob Thompson misses for Greenvale and plays for Bendigo, and Skipworth decides to play for Abbas, which is interesting. Kicks 5, but unlucky. Hope he's back for this week's final series, but a big loss there. But a massive win for Pascoe Footy Club. As you said, an unbelievable effort in their first year.
No doubt. Let's go to this week's game. Let's start with the Division 2 Grand Final from Windy Hill, East Keilor versus your old club, Moonee Valley.
Yep, it's going to be an absolute cracking game of football. Two sides that played A-grade footy in 2005. We'll put some sides up on our screen. The East Keilor side, a very good footy team, Michael. Probably would tip to make the top 8 and stay in Division 1 this year, but with a few injuries, they were unlucky. Experienced players have played A-grade over the years. Michael Turner, Daniel Bonici, David Bruno, Adam Asani, Bramley. These players will make a massive difference. Brett Nankervis as well. Look, the thing with East Keilor is they're much more physical than Moonee Valley. They've got experience, but a couple of things. They probably drop off the last 4 or 5 players in terms of fitness, and they probably, 2 weeks before the season finished, got touched up by a very fit, young, enthusiastic Moonee Valley. As we have a look at Moonee Valley's side on our screen, and look, mate, they're doing nothing wrong, and they're in great form at the moment, aren't they?
Yep, no doubt. Who's going to be your tip?
My tip will be love to see Moonee Valley win, but I think East Keilor will get the chocolates here. The week off has done them a lot, and they'll be just too experienced. Just the forward line of Moonee Valley on fire. Liam Johnson, Cavalli, John O'Brien, and I think the big fella Spall will be back in as well as Peter Wright and M. Stevens out back.
Yeah, Peter Wright didn't make his debut, so it remains to be seen whether he will be picked for a grand final. The youngster down at Moonee Valley kicked 9 goals 5 in his under-16 Division 2 premiership.
History too, our first ever Division 2 grand final in Essendon District Footy League history, and it's a great moment for the Essendon District Footy League and fans, and well done to East Keilor.
Absolutely, that will be at Windy Hill Saturday at 2:15. Let's go to the Division 1 preliminary final, Airport West versus Taylors Lakes. Airport West will be disappointed with the loss yesterday.
Yep.
Taylors Lakes up and about. How are you going to see this one?
Look, Airport West have touched them up twice this year. Look, but Taylors Lakes were fantastic last week. I just think on a bigger ground, Airport West have more runners, and I think they came up against West Coburg, who had the best runners the week before. You saw them more than anyone, so would probably know. But I think they get Ricky McVeigh back.
Yeah, he didn't play.
And they may get Cam Rogers back as well, who's been a massive loss for the last 5 or 6 weeks. So they're 2 very important ins. Look, they're just a thing of confidence here, West. They haven't played much finals in the last 5 or 6 years. And West Coburg, who they met last week, were very experienced finals. They come up again probably against the most experienced final side other than West Coburg. So it's going to be a tough game for them. Glen Manton is a massive in for Taylors Lakes. For them to beat Glenroy without Mance is huge. Yeah. Look, if it's a windy day and the ball stays on the ground, Taylors Lakes are a massive chance here because they're physical. They've got big bodies in Di Pietro as well. Lee Calder, McFerrin, the huge bodies. Jackson Wright. I just think Airport West are too good to go out in straight sets. I think they'll get the chocolates they'll need big games from a lot of their bigger players.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Airport West for you?
Airport West should be a massive crowd this week there.
All right, let's go to... that game is at Coburg City Oval. Apologies. Now let's go to the Premier Division semi-finals. It is Sunday, all Division 1 finals on a Sunday. Let's go to the Saturday games in Premier Division. The first one, top of the table, played last week.
Yep.
Strathmore versus Greenvale. Can Greenvale get over Strathmore and get a win against them this year?
I'd like to say so. Look, I think they'll definitely improve from last week's effort. But Strathmore confidence now is a big thing. Their twos got up against an undefeated Greenvale as well. They've got a lot of depth at the moment. They get Jordan Doring back fresh from a week off, rested the body. He's as good as player in local footy. They're going to have massive headaches in selection. Patrick Fitzgerald played in the ones last year. It was best on ground in the twos. Obviously, Mazziel comes out, but look, I just think it's going to be a very close game. I think Greenvale on a bigger ground will spread well at Highgate. They train there, but I think Strathmore will be very hard to beat.
Yeah.
Cam White, do you think he'll come back for Greenvale?
Not too sure. I don't know.
Hopefully he does to help out Potter up in the ruck against Jones and Winter. Good to see Pell
on the ball.
He's had a few drinks here at Deluxe early before pre-recording. Should be a great game of football.
Yep.
Second time in 2 weeks.
It is at Highgate Reserve on the Saturday. The other game is at Coburg City Oval. Aberfeldy versus Maribyrnong Park. The loss that Aberfeldy have,
Yep.
does that mean Maribyrnong Park enter this game with some relative favouritism or not?
Look, it's pretty even. Aberfeldy have beaten them twice, but Aberfeldy haven't played senior Eastern District finals for a long time. The pressure's on them. They've had massive expectations this year. But they should go in as favourites because they've finished a clear third, but their form over the past 3 weeks has been a loss to Kilo, a loss to Greenvale at home, and a loss to Paco. Paco is not what you want to go in the finals. They'll feel the pressure with Skipworth out. With Courtney John's first game back.
Michael didn't play on the weekend, so
Yep.
he will come back in.
He's a massive in, and I think with Livingston to come back in for Maribyrnong, that will be a dream matchup for fans. Look, it's two clubs who are got rivals. Maribyrnong Park, very good finals form. Take away last season, their finals A-grade Premier Division form has been impeccable. They're very confident at the moment. They've had Holland and Ayres back in as well. Barling's in great form. It's going to be a cracking game of football, and there'll be a massive crowd at Coburg this week.
Yep, absolutely. So Aberfeldy versus Maribyrnong is at Coburg, and at Highgate, Strathmore versus Greenvale. Two cracking games of Premier Division football. All three divisions this weekend. Cracking games. We've got the C-grade Division 2 grand final on the Saturday. Also on the Saturdays, the Premier Division games, and on Division 1, the preliminary final. Airport West versus Taylors Lakes. Matthew, comprehensive wrap as always. You've been sensational.
It's great to be here.
Deluxe Bar, get down there over final series. Thank you to Blair and the boys here for letting us in. Support them.
And next week we'll film our show from the EDFL presentation night at Moonee Valley. It'll be a massive show. We'll have some special guests.
Yep.
And also we'll be announcing our teams of the year. Our best and fairest winners. Will be a cracking show on EDFL Web TV. Tell your friends, tell the coaches, tell the players.
Gonna have to get the bag of fruit out for that. Yep.
Could be out for sure.
Good stuff. Keep in touch. Facebook, Twitter, easternanddfl.com.au. It's all happening in the Eastern District Football League as it heats up. Thank you to Deluxe Bar for having us. We'll see you next week.
Best of luck to all the players this week. Mate, great
Hey,
to have
apparently you were an umpire.
I was.
Yeah, Rocky Tranquillo told me that he umpired with you one day in an under-10s grand final.
One of the best.
It was Maribyrnong Park playing, your old club. They were underdogs.
They were.
The game was tied. It went to extra time and they won. And you got absolutely stoned coming off the ground. People were throwing everything at you.
And now, as an EDFL board member, I expect a few apologies from those angry West Meadows young parents. But I was just an umpire. Umpires are always right. I just hope the fans start to realise that. What a great show by you.
Good stuff.
Do you have ID when you come in here?